So what is a story? Does anyone know, does anyone want to try to define what a story actually is? If you break it down to the basics.
I think it's you have your characters and then your plot, and there's like a hero, and then there's like maybe a damsel in distress. And then they all come together and it creates a story.
Yep. So a story is, and that's totally right, a story is a character achieving a goal in spite of obstacles. So when you're breaking down story and you're looking at story elements, these are the three elements that you always want to be looking at. You have a character, you have a goal, you have obstacles. And this is where when you're developing a story and you're trying to make it more compelling, you get to play with each of these elements. And how can we make the goal more exciting? How can we make the character more interesting? How can we make the obstacles more challenging? This is how you develop a story. And so I'm not saying make it up for your business. You're going to be using authenticity and telling a true story, but you want to tell the story that's going to get you where you want to go. So it's just a fun way to be able to play with what these elements are. Now in business, there are always two characters. There's you and your customer. So if you think about your business story kind of like a love story between you and your customer, you can break down each of your characters individually. So you as a character is your brand. This is how, we're not going to go into all of the brand stuff here, but establishing your brand is establishing you as a character and how you play into your customer story. So when you are identifying your character and getting really clear on everything about yourself, you want to be clear on who you are, where you're from, what you're about, what makes you interesting and different. What is it that's unique that you bring to the table? What's compelling about you? And what makes you you? Quirks, personality, a specific sense of humor, right? What is it that makes you you? So when we talk about the different things that make a great character, we are typically talking about qualities. So when you think about, even from fictionalized work, like if you watch TV and movies, who your favorite characters are and what you love about them. What are the qualities about them that make them so enticing? Usually they're going to be qualities that you identify with and appreciate, and usually those characters will also have values that you identify with and appreciate, and usually it's the same for brands that you love. They align with your same values and the things that you appreciate, right? Personality, sense of humor. What kind of comedy do you like to use in your brand if you're writing? Which character from a sitcom would you be if you were a character on a sitcom? So this is just a fun way to think about, bringing character to your brand when you're writing. And also beliefs and worldview. What are your philosophies? What are your core beliefs that you stand for in your brand? And then your customer. So we want to know who they are. Who are they? What do they deeply care about? What are their values, qualities, beliefs, and personality? Who are they? Break them down. Get as specific as possible about them. You want to know these things because it will help you engineer your story around your character. Now, around your customer. Now, as much as you can, we can engineer it as much as possible. A lot of story is reverse engineering for messaging. So when I say this, I don't want you to feel like it's really manipulative because I know that can be a huge, reverse engineering sounds so manipulative. I just want to be real. I understand that. Most of the time, you're going to attract customers that have similar values to you. So you'll find that a lot of what you develop as you break down, your specific values and what you stand for as a brand, it often will naturally align with what your customer is interested in. But doing that market research and getting to know your customer is so important so that you can make sure that you are, spinning stories and using stories that really appeal to them. And then goals. So we all have goals as human beings, right? It's like a natural way of life. You're here today because you want to learn more about using powerful stories in your business. But what are those powerful stories going to do for you? What is the outcome that those stories are going to deliver to you? Are they going to bring you more customers into your business? Are they going to improve the sales conversion that you have with the customers that you already have a relationship with? What can those stories do for you? So when we think about the stories we're telling and the goals that our customers have, I want you to think not just about the problem you're solving, but about the bigger goals that they have and how you're helping them get there. So what's your customer's goal and what's their vision? What is their bigger vision for the type of life they want to have, for how they want to feel, for what they want to achieve, for who they want to be in a year or 5 years or 10 years? Because that's the story we're going to be telling. And then the third element is obstacles. So, if we all achieved our goals really easily, then there would be no story. If I told you that I went to Hollywood and immediately got like $1 million movie deal and was like, I don't care about anything except my $1 million movie deal, there would be no story. Story does not exist without obstacles. Obstacles create tension, and tension creates desire. So the lack of having is what actually creates that tension in your audience for them to say yes to a sale. So there are 3 main levels of obstacle you can always be playing with. Internal, which is usually it's like mindset stuff. What are their thoughts that are holding them back from what they want? How are they internally getting in their own way? Interpersonal, so that's relational. Who are the people that are getting in the way of what they want? And environmental, so actual society, surroundings. Maybe they have a specific job that is like the environment that they're in that doesn't work for them for what they want. These are the different levels of obstacle you can always be playing with when you're spinning a story.